Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Well, as you see, I am joined by Katharine Manning, a fan favorite who's become a fan favorite very, very quickly here at the station. Hey, what's going on today? You spit out your gum.
I was caught taking my gum out of my mouth. You know? And that reminds me, Casey, the little videos that are kind of funky. There are 4 playlists on my Southern Fried Spirituality YouTube channel. Okay. And the 2-minute ones are called Spiritual Minute with Gopi Katie. And my spiritual name is Gopita. It's a wonderful name. My teacher gave it to me from India, and it means one who's intoxicated with the love of God. So it's Gopi Katie. And they're the ones that I do one take. And as you just saw, I'm caught taking my gum out of my mouth, picking my nose, something like that. And I don't change it. It's just because I have a little impetus to do something, and so I record it. And okay. Last week on the nature of God, it was a 1 minute and 50-second one. And I got this email right away from this guy that said, "You are really beautiful and your videos are so bad."
I guess that's a compliment.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It's absolutely true. But then I do have other playlists and on spiritual energy teachings, on spiritual teachings, on meditation. And one is on family systems, and they're 20-minute long. They're good. They're more professional. They're not professional, but they're good. I'm teaching a group or something, and I'm not picking my nose. I'm not taking gum. Unless I am, I'm not. But they're not like that. Those are the ones that I mean at one takes, you know. Okay.
I got you. And are you still doing your speaking gigs? Are you still going out and talking to audiences and stuff?
I'm not doing that, but I want to. COVID put a kibosh on that. And I did have some groups on Zoom, but I would prefer to be in front of an audience and doing it because it's fun for me and I'm good at it and I make people laugh. And then they learn more when their neurons are firing funny, so that's what I want to do again.
Okay. So you think you get a different vibe when you're in front of people rather than the Zoom?
Yeah. But I like Zoom too, but I can, it's hard because I have a gallery in front of me and people are distracting. And if I just see my face, I'm just, it's more difficult. I really would prefer to pick the energy up from the group. And, and it's great, and I'm a little ditzy sometimes. I mean, this blonde is a little bit from a bottle, but most of it's real. But I really love being in front of a group, and I'm good at it. And then I can talk to people afterwards. They can come and I can kind of assess their energy. I really want to get back to that, and especially with kids, I can go to a school or something. I mean, I need to get paid. I mean, I do have to make a living.
Of course.
I do want to be able to do that again. And then, like I said, I'd like to go into these to companies and work with very stressed out leaders, people, just anybody, because people really need help. They want to learn how to take care of themselves, and they can do it. And I do have the certifications in nutrition and hypnotherapy and Byron Katie and in all sorts of things. I've been around, baby, and I help people do. You can do this. You can bring that to lunch. You can prep your food now. I teach people to prep on Wednesdays and Sundays. You can do it. Don't depend on anybody else because they can let you down and you'll give yourself any excuse not to do it. Yeah. If I could do it with children and work and 2 homes, honey, you can do it. The other thing I want to clarify is I'm not a sickly person. I'm not poorly, but I get strange things. I think because, I have this electrical weirdness. So what I meant was I get like all of a sudden I got this awful disease. I still have it called reflexive sympathetic dystrophy. And it's not everybody gets it. I've never heard of anybody else having it, but it will strike me down sometimes. It's neurological, electrical, and it hurts so much. I can't even put bed sheets on my legs at night. They hurt. Everything hurts so much. And that happened about 15 years ago when I broke a toe. And it's so gross. I mean, my foot will turn red and one hair will grow out of my toe like a wolf or something. It's like,
oh God.
It's horrifying. It's horrible. It's now called chronic regional pain syndrome. And, neurologists wanted to put morphine pumps in my stomach. You can't, there's nothing. And Byron Katie taught me this. And I want to say this. She taught me there's no such thing as chronic pain, which made me angry because I was in chronic pain. She said, pay attention, because if there's only the present moment, pain has to be on its way out. Pay attention. There can't be a past or a future. Pay attention. So I did. Because I was mad at her. And I sat there and gone, ow, gone, ow, gone. So it's not fun, but it helps you understand that when the thoughts come like, this will never end, this is going to kill me this way, this is the rest of my life, oh God, it helps with those thoughts, and it does end. And she also taught me that if I wanted pain, I'd think of a past. If I wanted terror, I'd think of a future. So better stay right where I was and have the pain, because it just goes away. It just can't, you can't have chronic pain, which implies endlessness.
That's interesting.
It was so interesting and so difficult to discipline my mind that way.
What is that thing you were telling me about that you have? Is that like a fibromyalgia type thing where it's constant pain? And
it's much worse. The fibromyalgia I have also. I have about 10 autoimmune illnesses.
That's autoimmune. Okay.
But it's neurological and electrical. It just shoots electrical pain up into your brain, and you just scream. It hurts so much.
Oh, man.
It's like trigeminal neuralgia, which I also have, which is around the face. But this one was, I think Abraham Lincoln had it or something. It's called reflexive sympathetic dystrophy. And I couldn't walk for a long time. And I saw the videos of, oh my God, I looked like the Marshmallow Man about 15 years ago when I was teaching. There's an energy medicine video where I'm teaching the daily energy routine. It's good. I'm going to leave it up there. I don't care what I look like, but I teach it well. And I was on steroids. They gave me steroids for it, which I guess helped, but they make you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I'm very, very puffy, and I look overweight. I don't know if I can't remember what I weighed, but they helped with that kind of a horrible pain. And I had it for years, and it activates sometimes. And when it's just miserable. I mean, it takes me down for a while, and I do take some pills, and I lay down and I like, but it comes and goes. I don't know what triggers it. The other thing is, it's so important to not feel responsible for your disease. You're responsible to it, but not for it. That can't be. Otherwise, we're just violent all the time with ourselves.
Right. Wow.
Violence closes the heart, it closes the heart. Why would I do that to myself? I'm just going to take care of it when it happens. I'm not going to feel like I did it to myself. Who gives a crap? Ooh, me.
How often does it affect you? You said there's no rhyme or reason when it comes in, but how often?
Oh God, I had a activation last year, and it just was like, oh my God, and fibromyalgia and another one. Then I got another thing, and because this is maybe once or twice a year, I'll get an activation of a couple of maybe a week or two, and I just want to die. I do.
Oh.
I just want to die. I walk around. I can't put my foot on the ground. I just wince and scream. It's so painful, and life isn't worth living. But it goes away.
Yeah.
And I don't know why anything's happening. It's not what I'm eating. It's not what I'm doing. It's not what I'm thinking. It just comes. And that's what I think is so important to know. Like, who knows? And somebody says, well, what did you do? I want to just say, I do. I just want to say that. And I do sometimes. I just don't. If we're going to make somebody in pain feel guilty, and here's my responsibility to it. I'll take care of my pain. But don't compound it with your own projection of your guilt, because you think that being sick makes you bad.
Yeah. Yeah. That's unacceptable when people want to put, they want to tell you, how much pain you're in. How the hell do they know?
Oh, that really gets me. And here's another one. Are you okay? You look tired. Oh, God. Thank you. I really can't. And also, this is very, very epidemic in men. Calm down. When I'm really excited or something, they say calm down. I want to slap them silly. It's like that's when people take care of their feelings at my expense. They're upset because they're getting upset because I'm like activated or something. No, you can't do that to people. You take care of your fear of a lady who might be a little bit activated.
Right. Right.
Codependent. Like, oh my God, shut up. Don't say calm down to a woman who's not calm. That's
a good lesson to learn.
Yeah, because it's just because somebody's afraid of, they don't have room in their heart for their pain. So they don't have room in their heart for your upset, It's
projecting, you're saying.
Yeah, it's projection. And when I'm calm, I can say, honey, but I see so many edipally challenged men. I mean, I just really do. It's like, let's go talk about your mother, but don't. I'll find somebody to help you, because I don't want to do it.
That's funny. Hey,
okay. So anyway, that's
Katharine, Tell us about we should finish up because we were talking about your boot camp.
Okay, so the boot camp. So you asked a great question. I've thought about it a lot this week, since last week. You asked about neurological balancing exercises. There are quite a few.
Okay.
Besides homolateral repatterning, there's something called the Wayne Cook posture. Now, I don't know that much about Wayne Cook, Dr. Wayne Cook, but I do know he did invent something called the Wayne Cook posture. And he did it for dyslexia and stuttering. And it is so helpful to some, like when you're reading and you got to read some more, but you can't take anything in. This posture, and I realized, like I said, the blonde's from a bottle, and there's no excuse for this, but I realized most people are listening, not seeing. So I need to describe this a little bit better. But so the Wayne Cook posture as part of the daily energy routine is you cross all parts of your body and you hold for a couple of minutes. So for the Wayne Cook, when you're just all flooded, you're filled up with mental stuff and you can't take much more. For instance, like a student being told to study at 3 p.m. Insane. They do the Wayne Cook posture. Maybe they can get a little more in there. You just cross over. Let's say you cross your right leg over don't do it now. Left knee.
Okay.
Take one hand, touch the shin, the other hand over to the. You're all tangled up and crossed over, and you breathe, and then you do the other side. You'll be surprised at how much more you can retain and see because you're all of a sudden clearing space in the brain for that. It's amazing. So I'll show you if you want to stay on, or I can send it to you. The video is very clear. Would you like me to demonstrate it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. So I've got my both feet on the floor.
Okay.
I take my right leg, cross it over my left knee, left hand, put it on my right shin, right hand on the bottom of my right foot, and I breathe in 3 times. I'm all crossed up. Wait, let me just move this dog bed so I can back it up and you can see me. I hope my dog doesn't come in and get mad at me. Licorice noodle. Oh, my greyhound. Right leg, left knee, left hand, right shin, right hand, bottom of foot. Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
I'm breathing. See, breathe. Breathe 3 times. I'm untangling. Left leg, right knee, right hand over the shin, left hand over the bottom of the foot. See?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm breathing again. Actually, this is really helpful. And I do this sometimes when I'm in a conference or a meeting and I'm bored to pieces, and I just sit like this because I can listen. This is very helpful. After about a minute, I shake my hands off and I put my thumbs between my eyebrows and I close this up. This sort of just seals the bargain. I take 3 deep breaths. And I'm finished. And it really will give you another 20 minutes or so of space.
Ah, so it clears you out like that brain fog.
It just gets you out. It just makes more space. And then another thing that does is you put your fingers deeply in your forehead and your scalp, and you really push in and pull out, and you're clearing more space in the corpus callosum. It also intensifies the rectus abdominis muscles. So you have more, it just opens you up. So many people are sitting on their butts with Zoom and virtual meetings and everything now because of COVID. And I'm seeing people will come here, they haven't seen me in a while, and they're one congested mental blob. They're just, and I tell them to do one. First I say, you're going to stomp. You're going to stomp. You got too much gunk up in there. And I put on music and we just stomp, we stomp to get some of that crap out of their heads.
Mm-hmm.
A woman was growing a thing right here. And she said, I've got cancer. I said, no, you've got mental congestion.
Wow.
And I said, you go home and you stomp for 2 weeks and you come back. And if that thing isn't gone, you can go rule out cancer. It was gone. It was gone. It was a huge lump the size of a pencil eraser.
Is that just from no movement? Is that just from?
It was from just ugh. Yes, it was no movement. And she was boop, boop. So I said, stomp. Just dance. We danced, but she had to jump. Believe it. What did they say years ago that sitting is the new smoking?
I've never heard that. That's pretty neat.
Oh, yeah, sitting is the new smoking. I said, you get off your ass and move around your desk every 20 minutes, or you're gonna, this is what I said, you're gonna die.
Oh, geez.
I did.
I
Well,
get your attention.
she did. And she was, this is not funny to get a big growth there. It's not funny.
Yeah, really, that must be scary.
Did, well, it went away. This is the same woman who came to me every single week for 3 years when I first started practicing energy medicine. I didn't know to do certain protocols in the beginning, and my tongue would turn black. I loved this stuff. My tongue would turn black when I work on somebody. I mean, you could scrape this gunk off. But she had a lot of anger, this woman. She still does, but it's not anywhere near where it was. And the liver's on the right side, I think. Whatever side the liver's on. Her right eye would swell up like a golf ball and get all goopy and drainy and Quasimodo thing and get like horrible when I worked on it because her liver was detoxifying.
Oh.
It would finish up and she'd go home. I mean, I wish to God 20 years ago or whatever it was, we'd had videos, I could have taken a video. That happened. She will do a testimonial, she said.
Wow. And like after you do an energy session, is it an old wives' tale or urban legend that you're supposed to drink a lot of water? Does that do anything?
Oh, no, that really helps because what happens is a lot of people get like fluey because I'm doing all those corrections with the neurolymphatic system. I'm muscle testing. And so I'm muscle testing. Let's say I see a weakness in, I just did this yesterday. A woman needed help with her bladder meridian. Now, it wasn't the organ necessarily, but I corrected bladder, and the bladder neurolymphatic is across the pubic bone. And I said, this is going to be really uncomfortable. I prefer you do it. So you massage deeply around, all along the pubic bone. It hurt her really badly. And she got a fever and she got chills and everything. I said, I think this is called a healing crisis. I'm not sure, but I don't think you have an infection, but you need to make sure let's wait 24 hours and see how you feel. Well, she has felt wonderful.
So you had to do that to get that stuff out.
Well, whatever lymph wasn't working, and it was probably up, the Sushumna Nadi or the conception vessel or the central channel, Sushumna Nadi and Kundalini, central in our stuff, Touch for Health Kinesiology, Donna Eden, and conception vessel in Chinese medicine. This wasn't flowing, and she was sitting too much, and it was just blocked. So I worked with this. I worked here on kidney. I worked up here on thymus, and she felt better, but it had to something we had to clear. Yeah, it was easy to do. It was
Hey, what is your book about?
Okay, well, kill all the lawyers in.
Book. Nice. Oh, the title.
It's called First Kill All the Lawyers. And when I first got contacted by the producer, I thought, oh God, it's about the book again, because I get tired of talking about it, and I do get some calls about it, and I didn't promote it. But anyway, the book is about, took me 8 years to write it. And it was about the darkest time in my life, my marriage to my second husband for 7 years, who I simply adored, I thought. And he turned out to be pretty tyrannical. He was a lawyer. He divorced me. We didn't have anything. He was quite a well-known lawyer in the world's second largest law firm, a partner. And he took everything. And I didn't have a lawyer, so I became my own lawyer in pro per. This is how I knew that that we're not the doer, we're the done. I became very ill with that reflexive sympathetic dystrophy. My daughter got that near fatal cancer. When I say he took everything, I mean he got my credit cards, he took the savings, he took the money, he took everything. He did this thing that you get to do, and the judge said in Los Angeles Superior Court, he said, Mr. blah, blah, why are you doing this? And he said, I want to hurt her. I want to make her unhappy and miserable. And this is a man who had professed this incredible love for me, almost like I was Jesus or something. And he was bowing at my feet. I mean, and of course it was a red flag when he idealized like that, you got to fall. But it was a serious, serious idealization. And anyway, he had a lawyer. He was a lawyer. He had a lawyer. I had no one. I was on a walker. I was sick every day. He had me in court 3 times a week for 1.5 years. He took me to trial, and I defended myself. I wrote a book about it because every day I would get up, I would write my own pleadings. I would find somebody to serve the lawyers. I would go to court. I would take care of my daughter, who was usually ill, walk 3 dogs, take care of 3 cats. I started a new business. I got a new website. I taught at night. I did study groups, but I didn't do it there. I don't remember any effort I made because I couldn't have. I was sick.
Yeah.
For a year and a half. So what I do know about that, those times, the dark nights of the soul, is something comes in and does it for you. There was no moment where I felt spiritual or happy. There was no moment when I felt unhappy. It just happened. I promise you, that's why I know about this God thing. Because first of all, I had been a sort of a hot mess. I was a spiritual teacher when I met him, and everybody, oh, Gopita. Oh, Gopita. I was, a teacher. Mm. He was also in awe. I mean, he sat at my feet during satsang. I gave satsangs every month.
What's satsang? What's that?
Well, satsang is it means keeping the company of truth. And I taught, we did meditations, and I taught, and I gave pithy, wonderful teachings to my group.
All right.
I was the teacher, and I was a church of Gopita, and there were lots of people that came and sat there and like adored me. And he would sit at my feet, and he was supposed to keep the time for meditation. He went sound asleep. He never did it. So I kind of had to stay awake. And it was quite profound. And I had just had this wonderful awakening, and I had that teacher, and I had waiting lists for people to see me. I moved from Reno after the sad divorce, because I did love my husband, but we had to divorce because of his addictions. It was sad. It had been a long marriage. And we blended our families, his daughters and my daughter. And it was really difficult, but he was very gentle, and he had a soft voice, and there'd been no abuse, but it turned out this was a kind of abuse that I had no idea about. There was no hitting or yelling, but there was a terrible, it was horrible what happened. But I needed to learn that I thought I was spiritual. I thought because we were so spiritual together, and we were so in love, and we went to so many conferences, and we went to Europe with Byron Katie, and I was on her staff, and he paid for all that. And, I just did so well, and everybody came to me, and I was teaching this, and I was doing this, and I did these workshops. What I had to learn and fall down was that this was another addictive relationship, and I was really messed up. And I was not the spiritual teacher. That was the spiritual teaching, and it was humiliating and horrible. And the collateral damage were the 3 children. And it took me down.
Wow.
I lost everything, including my home, including my bank accounts, including my health.
Wow.
And during that time at the end, when I was literally bankrupt, I mean, I had tons of money, literally bankrupt. My family turned away from me. Donna turned away from me. The organization turned away from me. My friends, I had no one. And I didn't know not to, I fought. I didn't know not to fight. I needed to surrender, but I didn't know how to do that because I'm the daughter of a Marine, and I kept fighting. Now I know you don't do that, because I know that where you place your attention, you build an altar. So I completely shredded myself in terms of so that's what the book is about.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing book. Well,
it got great reviews. It got great.
Bet.
And the first part is funny as hell. In fact, when it was finishing galleys and finishing being edited, I got a call from Hay House, and they said they wouldn't publish it, and that I would never find a publisher. And I sat on my couch and went, okay, this is the end of the world. I mean, it was just all over. This was Christmas, the day after Christmas in 2013. So I don't know why, but I started driving somewhere. I don't know why. And I never answer my phone when I'm driving, but for some reason I did. And this voice said, Katharine Manning. I said, yeah, Forrest Gump. I'm a lawyer from Hay House, and I'm going to scrub your manuscript clean. We can publish it if you scrub it clean. I said, okay. And I pulled over on the freeway, and we worked for about 2 hours, scrubbing it clean. I don't know why this happened like this.
Wow, that's amazing. Hey, Katharine, we are out of time, but what a great story. Let me give you the last second here. Tell people how to reach you. Anything you want the audience to know. You got the floor, my friend.
All righty. Well, You can read the book. It does have the self-care part in the third part of that's what why I wanted to bring it up today, because part 3 is self-care. It's all the daily energy routine. It's napping. It's all that stuff. So the book is expensive. They made it $37 for the hardcover. Don't buy that. See if you can get it on Kindle or softcover. I don't make any money. Don't worry about it. I never promoted it. So that's there. And just remember, if you get sick, you didn't do anything. There's no difference between illness and wellness. It's the same thing. It's the same experience. And if you want to put yourself in the arena, don't forget to humiliate yourself as much as I did. And that's for today. So www.southernfriedspirituality.com. And I'm Katharine Manning. Thank you so much. Thanks, Casey.
Always a pleasure. Love it. Katharine Manning, everybody. We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.